Chasten's none in his grave horses! Dig it up! You gotta dig it up! You gotta dig it up!
Dig him up? Does he think I'm a farthead?
Well, here we are in October, and I have a bunch of content for that never made it to the previous update, because, you know, I was talking about family and stuff, and I had this family member turn into a roe beast and was lecturing me on being immature when her husband is, you know, her deadbeat husband is like mooched off her for, you know, like 3 decades. And I ended up talking so much in that video, and I had a whole lot of content more that didn't make it into the previous video because I didn't want it to go too long. So a lot of content from the summertime I'll add to this video. And anyhow, so it is now October, and that means Windows 10 is going goodbye. So, if you are still on the fence, I would just strongly encourage you to migrate to Linux. I migrated 5.5 years ago, and I've been so happy. I have not looked back since then. So, give it a shot. You know, have all your data and stuff backed up and ready to go, and, you know, just get a brand new hard drive, put it in your computer or whatever, if you know how to do that, and then give it a shot. Install Linux, see how you like it. If not, you can always, you know, go back to being a slave to Microsoft. Just if you ever get bit by a tick that makes you like horribly allergic to eating red meat or whatever it is, then, you know, don't come crying to me, because, hey, you know, you don't have to fund this psychopath Bill Gates. And yeah, there's a special place in hell for that guy, that is for sure. So without further ado, or ado, it's a stupid word, isn't it? Without further ado. You don't really use the word ado unless you're saying without further ado. I've never really thought about that before. It is kind of a stupid word, now that I think about it. But anyhow, I guess I'm adoing right now. Windows refugees, I would highly recommend switching to Mint. Zorin, okay, so Zorin is another Linux distro that I've been wanting, because I have like a spare SSD hard drive. I'm thinking about installing Zorin on there and seeing if like Steam games runs, you know, it more, maybe it runs Steam more smoothly, I guess, because it's kind of tailor-made for gaming and such. Anyhow, yeah, I mean, if you are a slave to Adobe, you don't have to be. There are alternatives. You'll have to learn some new software or whatever, but you don't have to keep renting. You know, Adobe, they're getting away with such crap where you can't even own your own software anymore. You have to rent it from them, and that is just totally evil and disgusting. So yeah, take yourself out of the equation, switch to Linux, give it a shot. I strongly recommend doing so. Windows refugees, though, Zorin maybe, but for me, I use Mint, and so if you want just like something charming, then go with Mint Cinnamon. I use Mint Mate. If you have an older computer, go with Mint XFCE. Actually, my old laptop, it's like a hand-me-down from my sister-in-law from like last Christmas. That is 12 years old, and I probably want to redo that computer, install XFCE on it, and see how that works. Because they're slightly different, you know, these OSs. Anyhow, so Windows, if you're migrating from Windows, Mint is specifically tailored to appeal and be really user-friendly for people wanting to abandon Windows. So you don't have to search for software, really, with Linux, especially if you use Mint. Like a friend of mine, he says, oh, I want to get into Linux. I was thinking about getting a Raspberry Pi, blah, blah, blah. Well, Raspberry OS is what you would probably want to go with on a Raspberry Pi. I use it. Installing software, it doesn't have like the software manager, the really easy to use software manager like Mint does. I usually kind of type in stuff on the keyboard through the terminal. So you just type in sudo apt install such and such, right? If you want to use Chrome instead of like the default Firefox, then you're going to want to get Chromium, right? So you just type in sudo apt install Chromium. It asks you for your password, enter it in, and then you see like the text flying by, and then you're good to go. It really is that easy. What's even easier though is the software manager, where you just you look through a menu, find the program you want, click on it, then click the install button, and then it'll ask you for your password, and then it'll just install it for you. So yeah, again, without further ado, let me show you. I'll show you both ways, right? I'll show you the software manager, and I will show you installing on the through the terminal. And I recorded this off of my laptop. I wanted to record off of my Raspberry Pi as well, and I swore I had a video of that, but I couldn't find it on my Raspberry Pi. So anyhow, I'll just show you how to do it on Mint. So here you go, check this out. Alright, so you go up to menu. Now of course this is going to look different on anybody's computer. I've configured Linux to look the way I like it to look. So, you know, usually the menu button's going to be on the bottom, not the top, the way I have it. Anyhow, so like, you know, here like, for example, here's GIMP, right? You can install it just by clicking the button. You get this menu that pops up here, right? So it's got featured stuff, you know, here's FreeTube. I don't really know much about this. You can also look via categories. Like, oh yeah, here, OBS Studio, right? This is for video capture and live streaming and stuff like that. And you scroll down, there's top rated stuff here. Stellarium, it's like a planetarium type thing. Look at games here. So this looks kind of cool. Armageddon Advanced, like a Tron based game. And you got Burger Space, looks like Burger Time or something rather. Now if you're interested, of course, in Steam, you know, because those are just freebie games, you just click Steam, and a lot of times Steam is like in the very front featured, but I already have it installed on this computer anyway, so that's why it has the launch button there. So click back. You can Google Earth. I've never actually used Google Earth before, but here we go. You put in your password, and then it just installs. And because this is a older laptop, I'll skip ahead, right? But I've never actually used Google Earth until I made this video. So it installs, and then it goes through, like, I'll skip ahead here, but because it does take a while. Again, this is an older laptop, but it goes through like an installation, and then it goes to the initializing. So again, skip ahead. It comes up. Now, if you want to run this, it automatically puts things in the menu. So if you click on all, this is like all of your applications all in one big long list. And there's Google Earth. Okay. Or let's see where it puts it. Sound and video, no, it wouldn't be there. Where is it? Internet, I believe. Yeah, see, there's Google Earth on the internet. So this is kind of cool. I've never actually used this. I mean, it's been around for a while, but it gives you startup tips, blah blah blah. Pretty amazing. All right, get out of here, and let's search. Let's look at Arizona, where I am from. Arizona, USA. Search. And oh, isn't that cool? Yeah, there's Arizona. Yeah. Tonto National Forest. And here's the Phoenix area. A huge freeway map. So let's exit out of here. I'll show you something else. So here's the stellarium I mentioned. This is where you can track the constellations and such. Let's install this guy here. Alright, since I just recently put in my password, you're not going to see it again. It's not going to ask you twice, I guess. If a few minutes pass by, and it'll ask you again. But so you can launch it, or you go to the menu, and it's going to be under education. Now you can, if you want to change the where it goes, the category, you can do that manually if you'd like. So let's go ahead and load up Stellarium. I don't really know how to use this program. But it looks really cool. If you're especially into astronomy and such, this is a pretty cool. So I recorded this during the daytime. So you got this dumb sun that's in the way and you can't see any stars. I'm sure you can manipulate, you can like set the time to be at night or whatever. You got these things up here. I don't know what these things do. But Suginami Ku, I don't know where that is. So anyhow, there you go. Okay, so now next I will show you how to install through the terminal, and it really is easy, so check this out. So if you click on this thing here, you can type in, like, for example, sudo apt install bluefish. It asks you for your password. Do you want to continue? And you say yes. And then it goes through the installation. It's just like, you can't do this in MS-DOS, right? But you could do this in Linux. So I know, like in Fedora, when I used that like 20 years ago, you could use the yum command, just yum Firefox or whatever, and put in the password. But yeah, this is sudo apt install. This is the Ubuntu based type of Linux. Once you get familiar with Linux, it's not such a big deal. But Mint is based on Ubuntu, so it uses the same commands and such. So you got this progress, and then it'll just keep going. Even if it seems like it kind of freezes for a while, it's not that big a deal. And see, here we go. Do you like that? I called my computer Teletran. There's Teletran 1 and Teletran 2, right? So there you go. It's under programming, and then Bluefish, and this is your HTML editor. And that is what you do. Pretty easy. Okay, so next let me show you some stuff that I have on my workbench currently. I have been, actually I was pretty busy. After I came back from America, you know, I was in a bit of a shock just because of the, you know, having to deal with those snot goblins like that. Just was not in a good mood for hobbies. And plus also my daughter, I've just been spending a lot more time with her lately, and it's been really good. But we've been busy doing other stuff. But I have been busy, especially in the past couple of weeks, with doing some really fun modeling project builds. I'll show you what I am currently working on.
I feel plastic. Hey, hey, hey.
Well, first of all, I want to show you I am almost pretty much done with this. This has been so frustrating because the water slide decals are so thick. They're not thick, they're just hard. Right? Like, they don't take much time to soak before they slide off, and that part's easy. But they're hard and they're brittle. And so, like, if you move them around, then they'll break if you move them around too much. Also, it doesn't matter how much of the, like, I'm using, like, the hardest I've got, Mark Fit Super Strong. It's just not strong enough. I had to keep making incision after incision after incision to get this thing to work right. And it just will not conform into the recessed areas. It is, these decals are so frustrating. But, you know, again, as difficult as they can be to conform, if you move them around, they'll just break on you. So they're just so stubborn. And this is why I've been slowly working on this since, like, I don't know, January or something like that. So I'm now wondering if I want to try to do fluorescent paint for the windows, because I already started, if you can maybe see some of these black specks. I started doing some of the windows as black. I don't know. And every time I look at this, I see more places. See right here. And I've already done a clear coat on this. I just keep finding more and more places that the decals. See, I don't know if I can, even after I did the clear coat, I don't know if this is going to work on this or not. It's so frustrating, it really is. But anyhow, this is going to be one of those speed build type videos with no speaking or anything. It'll just be in fast forward. This is, my friend Blake gave me this a few years ago. It's a Buck Rogers Starfighter, 3D printed for me. It's actually really nice. And I primed this in Minister Base White, and I got a little chipping off here though. I mean, well, this one I had to, like, I scraped off a little bit of an imperfection. I don't know what happened here. I'll go over it again, I guess. But I have these really tiny decals, because I have the original. It's not the monogram, but it's the Tsukuda. Right? I did an unboxing of that like a very long time ago. It's a pretty decent kit, but the cockpit interior is crap. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I mean, I've thought about maybe just totally scratch building my own somehow. I know there is a 3D printed Buck Rogers Starfighter, but it's like $50 for the STL files, and I know it should be probably able to be, you know, resized to fit inside it. But anyhow, what I'm going off on a tangent. Since I have the original decals, I scanned them and I printed them out, so I have like properly sized decals, and I'll show you when I'm done with this. This is kind of a fun little project. The Mid-May head, oh my gosh, where is she? Where is she? Alright, I found her. I actually masked all of this off so I can re-tape her cleavage there. Hey, that looks nice. That looks very nice. Okay, good. Got a little bit carried away because this is like lacquer flesh tone, and then I'm just using gloss acrylic Mr. Hobby Aqueous for the red dress. Anyhow, her head here. I don't know if this is gonna zoom in properly. Hey, that looks nice, doesn't it? I just did her eyes kind of black, and I just did a little glint in her eyes. Super tiny, but it should look nice once I have it done. And I put down like a really cool decal on the base, wherever that is. I'll look at that later. Okay, so Minuteman Model Works. Check out his channel, or you suck. This is he printed this out for me. This is Ray from Evangelion, and I took a long time. I had to like really just sand this down because I had like this little like a curve here, because I think when it was printed it was kind of printed like this. Maybe I don't know how he did it, but there's like all these little dimples where the little struts were broken off. So I sanded that down. So what I've done here is I just went with Mr. Base White first, and then when I was painting this here, that was with Gaia Notes Flesh Surfacer. So that's what you see here. That's her flesh tone right there. So for her hair, I want to use the Turner Acyl gouache, the Evangelion. Alright, this is the Ayanami Blue. I'm going to use this on her hair, and I'm going to use like probably just like the regular blue as a base coat, and then do this on top. That should look pretty nice. Yeah, actually I wanted this because I found this STL file for free. So Minuteman Model Works, he printed this out, and I do believe I showed this in a previous video, August update. Did an unboxing of a bunch of stuff that I had gotten from friends, and yeah, I wanted to get this just so I can have an excuse to use this paint. Alright, so moving on. Now, I'll probably upload it before I get around to uploading this update video, but this is, I'm working on the Platts kit, the F-15. This is for the group build. So far there are 3 people involved with this group build, and yeah, so this is the really beautiful F-15J, and this comes together kind of similarly to the Hasegawa kit in terms of the engine cans. Now they are different. They are actually kind of different sized, right? The Platts one, this is more dilated looking. This is the Hasegawa one, right? So I'm going to go over this with a dark wash and such. But yeah, the way these little fingers, whatever they're called, I looked it up once, but I forget what they're called. The way you glue them on them, it's just identical to this. What is different though is like the inside of the engines. Like this is for the Hasegawa kit here. You just put these. Now, what I found to be rather interesting is the Platts kit actually kind of sort of simulates the actual intakes, how they feed right into the jets. So on the inside of the model kit, you have this, right? So here are the intakes, and is that, do I have to, is that molded detail, or do I have to file that down? I'm not sure what this is. Yeah, I should probably file that down. I don't know what that is. I'll look at some reference photos. But anyhow, you have the intakes, and they go all the way back here to the engines. So this kind of fills up the inside of the model kit. That's kind of interesting how that works. Right, you got these little exterior glue joints here. Right, that's what these are here. And so yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. And the nose cone actually has the lightning arresters. Now, if you really know F-15s, let me know. But the F-15E, I don't think has these lightning arresters. I think this is unique to the F-15J. And so the only problem though is that there is no strip, right? The lightning strip on the very bottom of the nose for some reason. Why? I do not know, but there should be one here. And I believe the Edward photo etch for the F-15J, which I do not have, it actually has like a little piece for photo etch for that. Instead, I will probably use this. I picked this up when I visited Andy's Hobby headquarters in Glendale, Arizona. I thought this would be perfect, but as you can see, it's maybe a little bit too thick. Just not. So this is 0.25 by 0.5. Perhaps if it was 0.25 by 0.25, that would be better. I'll have to look online, I guess. Because I would rather do that than try to deal with this. But I think this should definitely work, though, because that's about the same size. And I'm pretty sure this is what I used for the Hasegawa kit. Because I scratch-did the lightning arresters on that. The only other thing that I am doing that you have not seen... Well, I mean... Yeah, I haven't uploaded anything. I haven't done anything new since I uploaded the video of this, the Deedlit figure. But I am slowly working on... I've been kind of slowly working on this for a few years. It's when I first started working on this. This is the Lovely Angel ship from Dirty Pair. And I've just done like the metallic colors so far. But this is going to be red. And I got this at Wonderfest several years ago. And the guy who sold me this, he's really into Macross, and he actually introduced me to I think it was the founder of Studio Nue, I think, and his wife. That was kind of cool meeting them. And I'm embarrassed to say I totally forgot their names, though. But yeah, they were just wandering around the Wonder Festival, and that was really great. So yeah, this is eventually going to be on my channel too. So on my trip to Arizona back in August, as I mentioned before, I was accused of being immature for having Gundam models. So to celebrate my immaturity, bunch of snot goblins, I swear, what the hell, man. Says the woman. And, you know, I'm immature according to the woman who is married to a deadbeat who won't get a job. Anyhow, this is the Core Booster by Gundam, or by Bandai for, you know, 1/144 scale, so it is in scale with regular Gundam models. This is an older kit. I came across some pictures of builds of this on Pinterest. And I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. So I decided to get this on Yahoo Auctions Japan, or YAJ as I call it. And so there are no decals that comes with this, right? Not even any stickers. So this was sold as junk, actually. But look, it even has the frickin' registration card in here for Bandai, right? So, as typical with these older Bandai kits, it just shows how to paint everything with the parts still in the runner. And like 20 years ago, I thought that wasn't actually a good idea, but it's not. Looks like you can build this with gear up or down, I guess. So this comes with a core fighter and a core booster, so you get two in this as a set. So look at all those thrusters on there. Oh my gosh. I'm thinking I might put LEDs in here. I don't know, but yeah, it was sold as junk, but so that's not a dead bug, it's just a piece of trash. But look, it's still sealed in the bags and everything. So I'm looking at these engine cans here, so it looks like freaking like a Y-wing nacelle tips, right? That's what it kind of reminds me of. And so I mean, it has decent panel lining, I guess. You know, it's old, but it doesn't lack for detail at least, so that's good. So maybe I'm not going to open this up just yet, though. But yeah, that is pretty cool. When the day comes that I do build this, I'll open it up. But just looking at it from inside the bag, then it's obviously it's complete. I don't know why it was sold as junk. Something I got also is this. It's an F-14 Tomcat. This is a photoetch set for the Hasegawa kit. Now, I got this out in preparation for this here. So this is the Hasegawa kit that I have. And let me get this out here. It does come with photoetch, actually. So if you're thinking, well, gee, that's kind of a waste, because if you use this, then you don't need this. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Because while the consoles and such are represented in this, there are, like, for example, there's the... Let me get this out of the way if I can. I don't want to open this up just yet. So this is the... Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I guess I'll open this up. Why not? Okay. Now, I'm just going to take out just the photoetch. Alright, so it has the consoles and stuff. Now, it also has these other little parts here. I need something to point out with here. Alright. So, I've got this here, and, oh wait, I don't know what these are. Here are the back mirrors, the rearview mirrors for the canopy. And we have these engine detail parts here. Now, these console parts, though, Edward has colored console parts. It says open here. Okay. Now this is going to be for the more newly tooled kit, not the old legacy kit from the 70s, I'm sure. This is for the 1980s tooled kit. Alright, so let's take a look at how these overlay. And yeah, that fits. And or maybe it fits on that one here. No, that's not it. I think, you know, I'm not sure. Let's look at the instructions. Now, the ejection seat pull rings are here, and yeah, those match up just fine. All right, because you do get photoetch pull rings here, but these are colored, and that's really nice. See, it's got the color on the back there. That's nice. That's super duper nice. Now, for the Oh, this only has like the side consoles. It doesn't have like for the front. This actually has the front here. So probably what I'd have to do is file it flat and then put these parts on there. They got these really super tiny parts. I'm not sure what these are. Well, I guess we can find out by looking at the instructions here. Okay. So, yeah, look at that. So it does have seat belts as well. I did notice that. So I guess you're going to fold them over, I guess. So it does have seat belts, and that's nice. Wow. Man, this really spruces it up, doesn't it? Ah, that's so cool. Okay. That's nice. Huh. Yeah, well, this, what, part number 25? 25. Oops, I got it upside down. 25. Oh, okay, this is what this is here. So you cut this off and then you fold it like a book. And that's what this part is here. So it says, remove? Okay. Alright. Yeah, so what you do is you remove this from the plastic part and you add these details on there instead. And again, they're pre-colored, so that is super nice. And here, it says here to grind these parts off here, file them off, grind, remove, and then you put the, where's part number 8? Yeah, that's what this is here. Yep. He says as he drops it on the floor. Okay. And of course you have these parts here. Oh, look at that. A little doohickey that sticks out of there. That's interesting. Okay. Nice. And you got another part here that goes there. Wow. That's rather intricate. So what's part 40? Oh, that's what this is here. And it looks like you're gonna bend it into place and form a box, and then place it on there. And since this is silver, looks like this will have to go on first and get painted, apparently. That's really cool. Nice. So yeah, there are some things that will be replaced, but overall though, kind of work with them together actually. So yeah, that's really cool. Alright, so here are those parts that I wasn't sure about. They go on the inside of the canopy here. So that's what these are here. Okay. So yeah, that's my one big question that I had. So yeah, everything else though, just remove the parts. So the little the cockpit tub, it's featureless, totally featureless, right? So like you could do decals or photo etch, or maybe lay the decals over the photo etch. That's what I was thinking about doing. However, don't need decals when you have this nice pre-colored photo etch by Edward. So yeah, very nice. Showed you this kit, and at my local hobby shop in town. Oh my gosh, look. Isn't that cool? Perfect. So these are 1/144 scale water slide decals, high grade, Universal Century. This is Renpogun, right? This is the Federation, just generic mobile suit stuff, and it's got some, you know, it's got the Federation emblem and numbers and stuff. So that is just perfect, right? Because as you can see, obviously, with your own goofy eyes, it's, you know, like, you got these numbers here. I don't know if I can do the 006, but yeah, it's not going to happen because I only have like 1 0. Maybe I'll do 06 or something. But yeah, there's like 3 7s. Why is that? I do not know. Or heck, I could just get another one of these. I mean, why not? I guess. But yeah, so pretty neat. Pretty neat. I'll put this away here. So, yeah, good stuff. So, you may have already seen that I uploaded a video of the All Japan Hobby Model Show. The All Japan Model Hobby Show. Yeah. So, as of this recording, it is, Saturday, October 18th. And that was yesterday, right? So, I didn't have any classes scheduled for that day, and it worked out perfectly. And I'm like, hey, you know, because the students were preparing for their sports day festival, which was today, right? So they were setting up and doing everything, and there was like no work for me to do. So I took the train down to Tokyo and attended the event. It's at Tokyo Big Sight, and so I was not able to go last year, but I did go this year, and fortunately I've discovered a cheaper way of getting down to Tokyo. So I could take the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, and I could get there in like maybe an hour and a half, maybe hour and 15 minutes or something like that. Or I could take the Shonan Shinjuku line, which runs from Takasaki down to Shinjuku in Tokyo. It keeps going further than that too, but yeah, that's a much cheaper way. It's like less than half the price, because it's like 6,000 yen to take the Shinkansen, but it was like maybe 2,600 by the regular train. So the Shonan Shinjuku line is like a it's like an express train, right? It skips a whole lot of trains, and yeah. So if I take it from the Takasaki, well, actually I took it from my town, the local line, down to Takasaki, and then from there I switched over to the Shonan line. Anyhow, if you don't live in Japan, you don't want to hear this. It's probably boring to you. I like trains, so sorry if I'm kind of spurging out, I guess. Anyhow, yeah, so I got there 12, actually at the big site, about 12:30 or so from the train station. Walked from there, I had a sandwich, and yeah, so every year, you know, every 2 years that goes by, it's like I'm getting worse about watching my time. I just, people know me, and I have people, you know, I started like recording, right, and I got a tap on the shoulder, and it was somebody I knew, and started talking to him and such. So like Beaver Corporation, right? If you ever watch the Hobby Link Japan videos, Brian, the big guy, he shaves his head bald. I don't get it. I mean, I'm bald, and that's just because God hates me, but some people who are not bald and yet they choose to shave their head, I don't understand that. I mean, I'll never be cool again for the rest of my life, but some people just choose to do that. Whatever. It's a free country. So anyhow, talking with those guys for a while, I stopped by Aoshima, right, the company president. Well, he's not the president anymore, right, because when, like, the year that I started, he kind of semi-retired, and he gave the position to his son, and his son is like the same age as I am. And so I was talking to him for a while, and yeah, so he was asking me, you know, if I was still living in Fuji. I said no, I moved to Gunma Prefecture, and just talking to him for a while. He says, you know, I'm pretty much retired and blah blah blah, and I told him, you know, after what happened, you know, there was the business manager was such an asshole. I called him the boss hole. Because of him, so many people quit. And that guy, he hired a bunch of people who could not care less about plastic models. And it could cause problems. I mean, you would hope that if you know, think about it, all the people who are like, oh my gosh, I'd love to work at a plastic model company, like myself included, at that time, and they were not being hired to work there. And so that guy, he especially really liked the pretty young girls. He was just a total dick brain. Like, there was one guy who was hired on, and he made an inappropriate comment, and so the boss hole like humiliated him in front of the whole team, making him, like, you know, voice his apology and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think the girl was really that offended, and the guy was demoted to working in the in the warehouse until the duration of his contract. So he was only there for like just a few months, and he, of course, you know, he quit. And so that's kind of what they do in Japan. Instead of like actually firing somebody, they'll like demote them and kind of humiliate them, and then so that they'll just quit on their own. In this guy's case, it's just they did not renew his contract, right? So I was being strung along by 3-month contracts, and every time, you know, I was being berated because of sales and stuff. And the whole sales quotas and stuff, that was not at all what was pitched to me in the interview. It was like a import-export specialist, and like product development and stuff like that. And, you know, that's why I was trying to get a hold of like Mel Paso Entertainment to try to get the rights for the license for the Firefox, right? What is it called? The MiG-39 or whatever, the Firefox from the Clint Eastwood movie. But there's just no licensing for that in any of Clint Eastwood's movies at all. I was trying to get a hold of the people who were handling the Mad Max, because there was a plan for Mad Max. I did pitch something for the Need for Speed, so I went to Electronic Arts, and it's funny because like that was turned down for a line of cars, but after I quit, the guy, apparently they changed their mind and they wanted to do it. I'm like, well, I don't work here anymore, so, you know, good luck with that. Apparently nothing ever happened. But there was the other thing about was aliens. You know, I went to Fox Plaza. We had an idea of doing aliens kits, and then the R&D people just ended up not being interested, and I'm like, all right, that's it. You know, I'm being berated all the time by this stupid, crappy business manager, and people aren't interested in doing what I think would be pretty important for the company. So I quit, and I was one of many who quit. They're like my friend who he quit after I did, and like there's like an issue of Model Graphics magazine. Like, I think he's on no, he's not on the cover, but there's like a big article about him with like a big picture of him inside the magazine, and he was like, you know, like the total poster child for Aoshima, and then he quit because he couldn't stand that guy either. now he works for Hobby Japan, and I do translation, English translations for his instructions and product descriptions and such for the models that he produces with Hobby Japan. Because as you may know, of course, there is the whole magazine side to Hobby Japan, but they also do plastic models as well. And if you saw the video, you'll see the tank that I'm really interested in, that Swedish tank, because I've done a bunch of tanks and stuff, and I'm not into armor very much, but it's a pretty cool looking tank. Like the tank's chassis can like be tilted up or down, and it just looks really cool. So anyhow, my team lead, he quit as well, and yeah, he was the main guy of the international business group, and there was just so many people who quit that company. So the president, he knew what was going on. He says, yeah, there was the power harassment, but fortunately there was no sexual harassment. And I'm like, actually there was, because the boss hole, the guy was like again, a total dick, right? He was really fond of hiring these pretty girls, but nobody could stand him because he was such an asshole. And he had this feather duster, and he was like all he with one of the women trying to play with her. I mean, think of like a freaking 13-year-old boy trying to hit on a girl, and he doesn't know how to do it. And so he's got this feather duster, and he's like all tickling her, haha. And she's like, haha, cut it out, you asshole. She didn't say anything, but she's like, haha, haha. And the funny thing is, because like she was actually, her boyfriend was the guy in charge of the boxing department in the other building, and yeah. So I think they were living together even too, but it was a secret. But anyhow, yeah, it's just that he was really trying to hit on this chick, and she wasn't having any of it, and he was just such a loathsome asshole. There was like a whole line of cars, like when I was leaving work, there was a whole line of cars that were going to be turning right at the intersection, and this asshole just like drove all the way around all of them. I watched him do it, and then he got in front, and then he made the right hand turn, because just he couldn't wait his turn. Such an asshole. And that was that same day when he almost hit me, because I was like leaving the parking lot, and he just vroom, like went right past me, and I had the right of way too. And such an asshole. So yeah, he's gone. He's been gone for years now. They finally got rid of him. And at the time, they wanted to know why I was quitting, and I told them, like, nobody could stand this guy. And I don't know if anybody was gonna say that, but I'm an American, and I'm blunt about stuff. I just straight up said, yeah, nobody could stand this guy. And they're like, well, what do you mean nobody? Like, nobody. But yeah, so I had a nice conversation with him. The other people on the team, the R&D people, or there's one sales guy who's still there. A bunch of the R&D people, they're cool. They were really cool. And even though they didn't report under the business manager, they still couldn't stand that guy. And a bunch of them quit. The art department quit. Nobody could stand this guy. But again, it's been years since, and things are cool now. So yeah, I was talking with those guys. Didn't talk with the president of Yellow Submarine. That guy's really cool. I was looking for him, couldn't find him. Another friend of mine, he was at the Platts booth. I finally saw him at the end of the day because he's been busy. So what they do is like on the industry only day, it's open for industry insiders and press, right? So you'll see like Kino Kosaka, she does her videos of the different booths, and she does really fantastic coverage, and everything's like kawaii, kawaii. She gets kind of annoying, and now that I think about it, at the same time though, her coverage is pretty good, really comprehensive, way better than I can do. But anyhow, The industry only day it's just like they have like these little booths. Well, of course they have like the trade show booths, but like behind that they have like, you know, you step through the curtains, and then that's where they have like the deals where they work business with the wholesalers and such, right? That's what I had done, and that at the Shizuoka Hobby Show, I think like the first 2 days were like that. That was fun, I guess, and just talking to people was really, really great. I'll let you know, like at the hobby show, like the first night they all have like these drink parties, and people are just like, I saw a bunch of people just getting totally drunk. I had like this dinner party with a bunch of wholesalers from mostly from Hong Kong, but also mainland China, and I think maybe just because I'm overweight, I was like able to drink, and I can, if I stick to beer and whiskey, I'm fine, but sake will totally mess me up, but I know what I can do, and I was fine. I was able to take the train home, and you know, there was no problem. But this one guy, he didn't puke or anything, but just this guy was like really, really messed up. So like on the next day at the hobby shows, like a bunch of the people, they all have hangovers and stuff. It's kind of funny, but I was fine. Anyhow, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so as far as the All Japan show in Tokyo Big Sight, you need to have at least like a business card. You can make one up, I guess, as long as you have like some sort of legitimate reason to be there. It's fine, and that's how I got in, right? And that's or you can like through invitation, you know, like the guys at HLJ. I can ask them for a. That's what I did originally. I would get a invitation, and I can get in that way. Then on the weekend it is open to the public, and so that's when they put out all of their sales stuff, and you can buy stuff. And you know, like for example, my my fine molds work apron, right? This is getting pretty nasty, and I wish I could have been able to buy a new one, or my my Hasegawa one is even worse. I would like to get a new one, but they don't sell stuff on the industry only day. And since my daughter had tests today, I was not able to spend a night in Tokyo. So anyhow, big announcement, and this was like totally surprised. Like my friend Brian, when they were setting up, he was kind of wandering around, and he didn't see this on, which would have been Thursday night. And then Friday morning, then they put out the stuff, and this is so cool. So Tamiya, what they've done is they have shrunk down. Wait, am I getting this right? There we go. They've shrunk down the 48 scale F-14 Tomcat down to 72nd scale. And plus, though, the bonus is that it has the variable wings that will actually, like, you know, work as gears, right? So the wings can be swept back and forth. And if I remember right, the 48 scale, it has to be like either open or back. You can't move them back and forth, I think. I've never built it, but correct me if I'm wrong. I've never gotten around to buying that, but I might buy this. For the longest time, the fine molds Tomcat is like, that's the way to go. That has like the most incredible detail. I'm fine with, like, for example, my Academy one that I've been slowly working on, or Hasegawa. I'm not too picky, but the fine molds was like the cream of the crop. Now that Tamiya is releasing this one, I'll let some people make those comparisons when the time comes, but I'm just happy, you know. I enjoy the hobby, and I don't get too particular in details and such. One annoying aspect is that this started a couple of years ago, but at the Bandai booth, you cannot record video. You can take pictures, but they don't want people standing around recording stuff. And it's weird because their booth, it just seemed like such a waste of space. They just did not have a lot of stuff on display, despite the fact that they had such a huge booth. I just thought that was kind of bizarre, really. But Kotobukiya now has that same policy, and I was kind of surprised. Now the stuff like on the outside, facing on the outside of their booth, that was okay to film, I guess. But when I went around the backside and I was looking at the frame arms girls and stuff, the woman, she said, I'm sorry, you know, please don't record video here. Okay. So, well, okay. Maybe it's because just frame arm girls are just so very, very super popular now, I guess. I don't know. Volks, even though their table was like really small, they did not want video taken of their stuff either, so whatever. They just had some 5-star stories stuff, and I'm not really that big into that. I don't know, it's not really my thing. So I was just focusing on stuff that I'm really interested in. You know, I'm interested in Votons, I'm interested in, you know, Tomcats, I'm interested in Macross, of course, obviously. Some Evangelion stuff. You know, I was skipping over the Machinian Krieger, I was skipping over just, you know, the 5-star stories, a bunch of stuff. I just, whatever. Mostly the Gundams. They had like a full armor double Zeta that's coming out. It looks kind of cool, but I'm not gonna run out and buy that. Just not my thing, I guess. What else? They had some new Yamato stuff and photos. What I'm gonna do is make an image gallery and put it on my website, which would be stevethefish.net, under the Greg's Life section. That's where I put all of the hobby show photos and such. Didn't get to take a whole lot of videos though, because again, I'm ending up talking to a bunch of people. I spent a while with my friend Adrian, and he works for Big West, right? He's kind of like a liaison or whatever for the English-speaking world when it comes to Macross stuff and such. And he introduced me to his friend Egan, who is the senior editor at Anime News Network. And we ended up going out for Mexican food at the nearby shopping mall, right? Because that area of Tokyo, it's in Tokyo Bay, but there's like this artificial island, and Odaiba, right? It's like it looks all futuristic. It looks really cool. It looks really science fiction-y, and the monorail is really cool. There's a Mexican restaurant on the 7th floor of that mall, and I cannot recommend it. I think what Adrian had looked nice. I had like a regular burrito, but his was called the wet burrito with like all the sauce and cheese and stuff. It's like, they look pretty good. What I had, like the tortillas were cold. They didn't even bother heating up the tortillas. And the tortillas, like, it just broke. Alright, I also had a fish taco. I tried picking it up with my fingers and it just cracked and broke. It was like, the tortillas were just not good. There was like something like you would expect if like a, I don't know, like an elementary school home ec class kind of a thing, or, you know, yeah, something like that. Handmade by kids or something. It just really wasn't that good. The contents were okay, but just those tortillas were bad. I should have gotten what Adrian got, but whatever. So we just ended up talking for like a couple hours, and then I took my train back to Shinjuku, and then from there headed back home. So it was like, oh, they had like these mega highballs, man. big freaking highballs, right? And I had 2 of those things, and it was okay because it wasn't, you know, I didn't get home until like midnight, and when I got to my car, it had already been 5 hours since then. And but yeah, that was really good. So what else? I did talk, let me refresh my memory. All the cool crap that was seen there. The Dragon Quest models were really cute and fun. I kind of like that. I think those came out over the summer, and I haven't gotten them yet. I don't know. Hasegawa got their stuff here. Let's talk about Macross. So, tanks. Sorry, I'm not interested in tanks. Motorcycles. Sorry, I'm just not into motorcycles. What is exciting here? It's just, you know, they just F-15 DJ with digital camo. That looks kind of cool, right? It's like a green scheme. A bunch of these cars, though, was that the Safari Rally? Nissan, I don't know. Not a whole lot of the cars that I'm really big into. So the big thing, though, is Hasegawa is leaping into the Hall Frame Arms girls, and this is the same artist who does the egg planes, and what's his name, Takashi Fujisawa, right? And she's like, my tits are bigger, tee, right? I have bigger ones. And that's basically what she says. No, watashi no hou ga chou okii zo. Anyhow, obviously it's the same character designer. If you're into frame arms girls, you know, knock yourself out, I guess. I mean, this is like Getter Robo, but it's like a vending machine, you know, whatever. Ace Combat F-15. They got Eggplane Girl. They actually don't have it here, but they did have it at the show. And of course, the TV version of the Quadrillion Raw with the Miria figure. And I didn't know it came with the Miria figure until I got there at the show. And of course, also the trainer Valkyrie from Macross the movie. And it comes with plastic figures of Hikaru Misa and Minmay. So that's pretty cool. Resin kits of Patsai here, and then Minmay. And so she's wearing the dress from it's Macross the First, it looks like. That's the manga that came out. And I mean, if they were ever to redo like a remake of the original Macross, hopefully they follow that manga, because it's basically pretty much the storyline of the TV show, but with the updated visuals from the movie. And I just think that's really great. I picked up a Mr. Hobby catalog, and my friend, you know, Rebels at Cloud 9 in Canada, one of the ingredients is being banned in Canada, and it's like a hormone disruptor, and it's kind of not good for you, obviously, but I mean, I wear gloves, so I try not to get too much on my hands, but I mean, and also I wear a mask and such, but they're gonna be nitpicky about like these tiny little bottles of this stuff, but yet they'll like spray like crap into the air. You know, the whole chemtrail thing is, oh, that's a conspiracy. And then they're actually like, no, it's not a conspiracy. There's actual patents on this. I mean, I've listed like a bunch of them on my website. They're, you know, barium salts and aluminum and all this like toxic stuff for people. And, you know, the contrails are different than chemtrails, right? Contrails will dissipate pretty quickly. Chemtrails last in the sky. In the UK, they're wanting to block out the sun as if it's not overcast and miserable enough as it is there anyways, and they want to make it darker. Oh yeah, let's make it darker. Morons. Oh my gosh, cow farts. They're gonna, you know, ignite the surface of the planet on fire and bullshit. They're, you know, that's okay, but yet, you know, these countries will focus on model paint jars that are just like tiny little things. Get out of here. So stupid. I don't know if they have those new Dragon Quest colors in here, but I imagine those Dragon Quest colors are going to be just a one-off, right? Just like their Yamato paints. They don't even make those anymore. Those paint sets were pretty cool, but good luck finding them. Soft B, right? This is their own Soft B paints that you can thin it with accretion thinner. It just says here, you know, you must not, even though it's you know, water based, it says do not mix it with the aqueous or the accretion paints. They only just have like these basic colors, and that's it. They're not really expanding their line there at all, and it's kind of sad. What else? I don't really see much else on here. Oh, I do think this is interesting. They're coming out with these wooden plaques. You know, if you don't live in Japan, maybe you don't care, but for me, these are kind of nice, and they look nice and thick too. So if for like a resin figure or whatever, you want to have like nice and deep so that it doesn't, you know, fall over or whatever. This looks like it'll be a great way to go. I wanted to pick up more of these things, but it's like I was running out of time, and then it was like, oh my gosh, it's 5 o'clock. The event's over already, pretty much. I wasn't happy about that. The Turner Colorworks. Check this out. Oh, that's pretty cool, right? So I got some of this, and they're just talking about how to go about painting stuff, and yeah, I mean, it's acrylic paints, and you can thin it out with the Hobby Aqueous, right? This is according to the Hobby Japan magazine that I picked up a while back, and I got this, the acrylic gouache catalog, and the guy was painting. He was painting this Evangelion miniature, and I'm like, you know, this is the Ayanami blue, right, for her hair color, Ray's hair color. I told him you should get one for Asuka. I mean, this tube of paint, I bought it. I said it's kind of lonely though, because there's no Asuka hair color. They're like, yeah, you know. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I mean, that's just a good opportunity, I would think, but I guess they're not going to do that. And that is definitely what I am going to be using on this figure here. So, gosh, what else? I can't really think of a whole lot. Again, there's just too much, and there was other stuff I really wanted to look at. You know, it's really cool that Kyoto is getting back into the scale modeling industry, because they have their own line. It's called Artpla, and I really wanted to look more at their stuff, but I didn't have time. There's just so much stuff that I just didn't have enough time to look at. But oh well, it is what it is. I was not able to spend a night in Tokyo and go back for the next day. Maybe next time, I don't know. But my daughter had these tests, so oh well. And I had made up these little business cards. I was hoping to, yeah, talk to more people about maybe getting some translating jobs, contracts, and such. And I really should have given my card to the Model Art magazine rep there. Didn't even have a chance to really talk to him, because I remember when I was talking, or when I was making that video of that, somebody started talking to me, and I never got around to even going back and taking pictures of that booth. So, oh well. In all, it was really fun. Probably should go for like another day, you know, in the future. I'll see what I can maybe do next year. I don't know. I know next year my daughter's going to be a 3rd grade high school student, so it might be out of the question. I don't know. But anyhow, I did have fun. It was a great day.
Candy, 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 I can't let you go.
Time for another F-Toys Phantom. So, this is their 1/144th scale line. And I believe I actually built this one. To me, the black one with the eagle, and I would be disappointed if it turns out that this is what I have. This exact same design was in another line that they did. And oh, look at that, they got tape on here. In that case, I'll have to get my hobby knife here. Open this up. Okay. I really hope it's not the black one. And it's the black one. I already built this thing. It's got the eagles on the side and everything. Son of a motherless goat. The 2019, I have this one. I already built it. Crap. I gotta take this gum though. This is mine. Oh, the gum is delicious. Alright, so I might as well show what else they've got in this series. Alright, so there's like a white and a black one. They're the same thing. Hasegawa, I have Hasegawa 72nd scale versions of these two right here. This is what the oceanic color scheme, and here's that, it's a similar, right, same squadron, I guess. Yeah, 501st. This has got like a different paint scheme though. This one's really beautiful. Actually, I was kind of hoping I'd get this, but I'd be happy with either of these two. It turns out that I already got this one. Final year 2019. Crap. So I just sent one to Adrian in Germany, and I wonder what he got. But I got the same thing I already got. So that kind of sucks. Oh well. Okay, so I got my revenge. Of course, right? I just can't let that just stay as is. So I bought another one. I mean, it's random, right? Like, what are the odds of me getting the same thing 3 times in a row? Right? So, yeah. Well, I've already opened this, so you can guess that it's not a repeat. Alright, so this is the RF-4E Phantom 2, 501st Squadron. Final year 2020. I can't believe it's been 5 years ago. Alright, so, yeah. Right? So I bought this, and my daughter's like, oh, I hope you get the blue one. And I'm like, yeah, me too, right? And it turns out, dun, 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 I did get the blue one. And I'm happy about that. So let's open this up, guys. Is this, oh, for the love of Bob Saget. Tape. So, have you seen these things on my channel before? If you haven't, let me just tell you. These are 1/44 scale models that you do not need to paint. However, you have to be adept at removing tape, because these are like really taped in. I mean, they're like professional tape person who has entapinated these because he loves tape, and he's like, yeah, man, they called me the tape guy, tape man, the tape-arino. Get off, dude. Gum. Okay. All right, so the gum has been inserted in my stupid mouth, and so what do we got here? What do we have here? Oh, let me tell you. Right? Oh, yeah. So first you have to no, disassemble number 5. Take the nose off. Take these out. So what you're gonna do is assemble this. And I'll probably put this in my next video as like a quick build or something rather. But dude, what? There's like crap on here. What the hell, dude? I don't know, you can kind of see it through the reflection of the light. Alright. So yeah, totally pre-painted. Where are the darn seats, man? Okay. If I remember correctly, what I did was I painted the seats and then assembled. Right, so you got the instrumentation panel. Right. Got the nice cockpit here. That's pretty decent. And oh, this goes where the engines go. Speaking of which, here they are. Alright, and you got the drop tanks. Alright, so yeah, it's gonna be an easy build. Again, no painting. I mean, you can just hand paint. I'm gonna hand paint the seats. And here you go. Like these go on the plane. And that's really great. That's super great. So yeah, maybe I'll put this in my next video. Cool. So I'm happy. I finally got something else. Not just this, but I got this too. I would have been happy with any of these, really, but the one I really, really wanted, I ended up getting. So that's great. Happy. We got the shark mouth on there. That's cool.
New toys!
Mirai Shonan Conan. Right? The Conan, the boy in the future. Action Robo Noid. Okay. So there's 4 types. Alright, so they got color variations. You got one with Conan and you got one with Captain Dice. Mark Dice. No, just Dice. I don't know. Whatever his name is. Captain Dice. Alright, let's open this up. Now, Aoshima made a plastic model of this robot, which is pretty cool. And, oh, hey, this does require some assembly. So, the figure is unpainted. You have to take care of that yourself. And, oh, wow. Wow. Alright. This does require some assembly. So obviously I got the weird tan colored one. Okay. I mean, there's only one color in the show and it's not tan. I mean, I might be colorblind, but I know that at least. But whatever. It's still cool. Okay, so, wow, yeah, here he is. Put his head on there. Oh, okay, so his head's like on a ball joint. That's cool. So he's just like in a tank top. I'll paint this. And dude, what the hell? Huh. Okay. 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 Well, first things first. This instructions say this kind of goes right here. There we go. And then Conan can, I don't know. Oh, hey. Wait, hold on. Do these move? Do they actually move? I don't know. Oh, well, they do. Dude, they totally move. Either that or I'm breaking them. Maybe I just bent them. Shit, I think I bent them. I suck. Oh well. He's supposed to kind of hold on to these things. Ah, dang it. I mean, how hard can this be? Get in there. How freaking hard can this be? I'm following the instructions. It hurts my fingers, man. And there's like some sort of distress there. Yeah, I just don't think this is made right. I mean, really. Ugh. I shouldn't be hurting my fingers. It should snap right into position. There we go. Jeez. What the hell? Alright, I'm going to do the other assembly instructions. Got these neat little feet here. That's cool. This is the stand, apparently. Okay. Alright, let's put this thing together. Okay. I've done a bunch of sub-assemblies. It's kind of hard since these parts are not really marked. And some of the parts kind of fit together where they really should not. So that is a bit discombobulating, to use a vocabulary word. Yeah, you get kind of confused which way you're supposed to look at this. And whatever, it's just a cheap blind box, I guess. So there we go. And this is going to go here, and this goes here. The ball joints is where the feet go, and it looks like the feet are the same. Yeah, they're both, it says it's part 13, so this goes in the on here. So yeah, I was at Hobby Zone in Aeon Mall, and my wife found this. She's like, hey, look, it's made I Shonan Conan, right? The future boy Conan. And I'm like, wow, that's great. So one has claws and the other one has fists, I suppose. Because if you look at the instructions, like, these are definitely claws. And oh, weird. It's random. And then this fits in here. And then this is going to fit like so. And you could just stand it up like this, or it's probably best to just go ahead and use this. Right. Stick that in there. And here is Conan, and he's having a good day. Yeah, I'll paint Conan, I guess. I thought, yeah, cool.
Okay, Mr. Brace for it. Let's put Conan here.
Delta Ceram Coat Flesh Tone. Conan's tank top is cream yellow. This is Mr. Hobby Aqua's H34. Next is going to be Conan's hair. Tamiya Flat Brown XF10. Okay, Conan's shorts are going to be sandy brown. Mr. Habiakua 66. And unfortunately, like his tank top is gloss and his shorts are going to be half gloss, right? Hansia. I'll have to go over this with a dull coat. Okay, a hobby brush by Minishima. This is the use once type, right? Sky Kitty type. These are tiny little brushes by Minishima. Wave has something similar as well. Could use flat black to do his irises here, okay? And you know, I think I might need to stir this up. Okay. 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 Gonna have to revisit that. Anyhow. Okay. Alright, Mr. Habiakwe is flat clear. Alright. Let's put his head on. There we go. And there he is. Yay. And put him in his robot, and there we go. He doesn't really hold on to the control panel very well, but there he is. So at least he looks better than just a monochrome flesh-colored blob. I've got him painted up now, so that's pretty great. I'm happy. Here's the November issue of Scale Aviation magazine, and oh look, this features Umi Shinonome, everybody's Plamo goddess. So this is, oh my gosh, I had to buy this. I really had to buy this. Royal Space Force, The Wings of Honneamise. Awesome movie. Awesome movie. Gainax. it is such a fantastic animated movie. It's really fantastic. It's like, imagine if the first man put in space was done during like World War II era technology on like an alternate reality or another planet or something or other. It's like totally brand new invented cultures and everything. You got the northern continent and the southern continent, or they have a Cold War, and yeah, it's really cool. So really awesome fighter planes in that is gracing the cover of Scale Aviation magazine. And this is not the first time, actually, so this is going back to like 2017 November. Hey, wow, both are November issues. This here, this has, I'll show you this first. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, really beautiful builds. I'm like, really, that's a model? That looks like a real plane there. Where is it? I don't know who she is. Just some model. Okay, come on. I should have dog-eared them. Where are they? There they go. Here, okay. Yeah, the Shirodao Third is the name of the plane here. And this had, oh, look at that. I dog-eared it. Oh, well. Yeah, this has a couple of builds on here. So there is, this is made by Plum. Alright, Plum. They do all those really great shooting games and you know, retro game, you know, Gradius and R-Type and all that, Darius, Raiden, etc. So they made a one-seater plane and a two-seater training plane, right? Because the protagonist is taken up in a trainer plane. So, look at that. That is so cool. That is really cool. So, yeah, really cool build on both of these. It looks like they did some modifications here. Pretty cool. Yeah, modified cockpits and such. Really cool. Alright, let me show you this magazine next. Okay, I had to change the battery on my camera. So there she is. There's Umi. She's great. Okay. So this has a whole bunch of different stuff here, right? It's got the yeah, this is the two-seater and this is the regular. And so they made models of these, but not of these other aircraft. Now these are the enemy aircraft of the southern hemisphere, right? The Republic jet fighter. Yeah, these are actually jets. So you actually see these prop planes in combat with jet fighters. So let's go through here. All right, so there she is. There's Umi. Her boobs are so big and pretty. Oh my gosh. And she's actually, when I first encountered her YouTube channel, I thought she was a phony. I thought maybe she really wasn't doing the actual modeling work, but no, she actually knows her stuff. Like, I saw this, oh yeah, here's the centerfold here. She's got a really nice big butt too. I think it gives her measurements on here somewhere. Yeah, 90, 59, 100. Nice. What's that zipper for? That's a suit for guys. Anyhow, yeah, it was like she did like this soft bee, like a Godzilla soft bee toys, and then she repainted them and everything, and made this underwater battle diorama and such. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So here we go. Here we're going back to the anime here. There's some still shots. Here's the Blu-ray. I'm sure probably Discotech released this on Blu-ray for the North American market. That is a fantastic build. That is really beautiful. That is really cool. Junya Sakurai. Oh, look at that. Yeah, see? Sorry. I wonder if it's the same modeler. It could be. No, Kenny Shimizu. No, these are actually different photos. Yeah, it's, okay, they're different modelers apparently. Okay. Anyhow. Yeah, I love the props are in the back, right? That's really cool. You got the machine guns in the nose here. That is so beautiful. Look at that. So yeah, I have these kits. I've never bought them, and when I bought them directly from Plum. So even though they're more expensive that way, because you know, if you go through like a regular retailer, you can maybe get a better deal. But since I bought them from Plum directly, they come with pilot figures. I don't know if it's ABS plastic or what, but yeah, they come with pilot figures, so I was pretty happy about that. I think they've modified all of this. I don't know if the actual kit opens up like this. I don't know. It's been a long time. No, this is cool. This is a bike, custom made, 32nd scale full scratch build of the bike that what was his name? Shiro. He's the main character. Matty. Oh, okay, yeah, Matty. That's the guy's. He's one of the secondary characters. Okay, so we got an interview, blah blah blah, people with Gynax, I guess, and that's it, I guess. So we got this comic here. I'm not really following this comic. Oh my gosh, what's going on with her tits? She's got like cyborg boobs. How did that happen? It's kind of like Yamato versus the Nazis or something. It's weird. Okay, back to Honneamise apparently. There we go. That is beautiful. That's a beautiful build. Sorry, let me get this. There we go. That's beautiful. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, he's got pilot figures. So yeah, the only way to get the pilot figures is if you bought it directly through Plum. And it looks like, yeah, this is a totally full scratch, 48 scale. This is the jet fighter. Alright, and I think it has wing-mounted cannons, I think. I don't know. Yeah, you see them refueling in midair in the anime. It's really cool. It makes me want to watch that movie. Maybe I might pick it up on Blu-ray someday. Although, unfortunately, it seems like a lot of those Blu-rays are going goodbye as soon as they're sold out. They don't make any more. It's kind of sad. I am a bit stuffy because it's October right now. What is this? This is a narwhal. Beats me. I've never seen this plane before. Looks kind of cool though. Full scratch build, huh? What is this about? Oh, wow. Showing how they did everything here. Da, 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 da. Yeah. What's this? Pencil sharpener. Die-cast Tomcat pencil sharpener. That's cool. That is cool. Okay. That's pretty wild. I don't know what this is. Some laser gun from some show or something. Beats me. And I think... Wow, so much of this issue is all taken up for the Honneamise. Royal Navy jet fighter. Okay, so this is more Honneamise apparently. Yeah. Full scratch build. Cool. Wow. There's people who can scratch build stuff like this, I salute them. Oh wow, this is like this is from the movie, right? This is the whole launch, the Honneamise Kingdom's 4th rocket. My sister is watching over me too. It's really cool. I mean, it's very, very unique. You know, it's not about pretty, cute little girls acting stupid. It's just about putting the first man in space. And it starts out as like a joke because they're not actual pilots. But they get serious and they actually put the protagonist Shiro into orbit, and there's like a big battle at the end of the movie, but of course he makes it into space, and hovering above the world, he finds solace in God, his creator, and prays for peace over the world. It is really just a profound movie. Or like one of my favorite lines, it was like, there is nothing more noble than prayer, and there is nothing more humble than prayer. Really, really cool movie. Very philosophical. If you're going to get into the movie thinking it's going to be all action or whatever, then no. All the action is mostly at the end of the movie. But the actual battle, though, it's just it's really, really done well. They must have studied a lot of actual battle footage. Oh, and here's the capsule. Oh my gosh, this entire magazine is like dedicated to this movie. This is amazing. Wow. Now, why does it say Shirodao 2-seater injection? I think they screwed up the English here. Oh, okay. Alright. This is what it really is here. General Products, 35th scale Royal Space Force capsule resin cast kit. Wow. So this was an actual resin kit. Alright, so General Products, that was Gainax's, that was their garage kit business. And I have kit from them. Alright, this is General Products. This is Nadia. I'm still not done with this. I've been very, very slowly working on this for many, many, many years. Just keep kind of coming back to it every once in a while. But there it is. That's the actual... That is so cool. Alright, so this was my magazine for the month. And let's take a look at this. There she is again. She's so cute. Alright. And it's totally out of focus even. Focus, Daniel-san. See, this is what's wrong with my camera, man. This camera just is not focusing like it should. Oh, see, now it's focused. What the hell, man? I hope this, I'll have to rewatch this footage to make sure it's focused. Supplies! Now, this is something I've featured on the channel before. I've shown it several times, but I'll just make the time to mention this again. This is the Mr. Colors replenishing agent for their lacquer paints, and I just bought a new bottle of this. So my Mr. Base White 1000 was so completely dried out because it had a broken cap, and I've replaced it with this one here from another bottle. But this was, it looked like a little hockey puck. It was completely dry. There was like this little, you think of like a Tums or like a those antacids or like a chlorine tablet, what I would have to deal with when I had a pool cleaning job when I was in high school. it was just completely dried out, hard as a rock. I dumped a whole bunch of this stuff in there, and it was actually, I thought for a moment that maybe I put too much in. Turns out it's just fine. So I waited like a couple days. I sneezed, and then it was like basically like brand new. So yeah, this stuff is really nice to have around when you're dealing with lacquer paints. For more supplies, Evangelion Colors Series by Gaia Notes. This is Eva Asuka Orange. So this is meant for Asuka's hair color. So no more guessing apparently. Here is an official hair color for her. Let me go get my resin kit that I think it was, what, last year I finished? Let's take a look at it. Well, interesting. Alright, so this is the hair color I came up with. So I think the important thing to do is to kind of build it up to this, right? Do it like a darker color and then kind of build it up to this, right? Because this is not too far, I guess. It's a little bit lighter though, but it's, yeah, you know, this is kind of bright. It's kind of interesting though, like it just kind of reminds me of the Gaia Notes, where is it? Crusher Joe blue. Like this is like way too bright blue for it to be the Crusher Joe fighter color, but that's what they came up with. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. I mean, I'm looking at the gashapon I have on top of my computer hutch, and it's pretty close to this. So interesting. Well, I'll see what I can do to kind of work that in, blend it together with another paint. Let me put this away. Okay, so moving on. Now, I bought this for Franco earlier this year, and I wanted to get one of these for myself. I can't remember if I featured this on my channel, but this is like super fine point tweezers. Ultra precision tweezers. So yeah, this is by Doyusha, and in their Sugo line. Sugo means like cool or whoa, that kind of thing, right? Oh, I like that. I like this. Now, I did show this for sure on my channel before, my anti-static tweezers, and I have used this for decals. Yoink! Super duper pointy, okay, yeah? Super pointy. Wow, dude, this would like totally, you could totally stab your finger with these. They're super sharp. I mean, like totally sharp. What do I have here? What can I use? Oh, here we go. Like, these are like the mini iron beads here. That is really sharp. Wow. The only other super sharp that I have are these nano beads. Alright, this is made for those beads I just showed you. And this is actually finer point. Not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. So this has that nice rubber grip here, which is pretty great. And yeah, ultra precision tweezers, and it's probably best to keep it in this little protector thingy because it's good. Nice. And on the back here, alright, shows like picking up a tiny little ball bearing and such there, and lifting up, masking and such. So yeah, this was pretty neat. So it's like, what, I think I paid 1,700 yen for this. And well, it's like, what, picking up some rigging or whatever. So yeah, neat stuff. Alright, so I've shown this acrylic gouache before, Alright, I got this set from my daughter, a whole bunch of different paints. This is acrylic, like very standard hobby paints, craft paints. Students in schools in Japan use this. Now I have thinned this out with a hobby aqueous thinner. And it's two running. Hobby Japan magazine said that this can be thinned out with hobby aqueous thinner. I'm going to try to add a little bit more paint into the cup. I tried to mix it in this, but it didn't really quite work out like I was hoping to. I hope this doesn't clog up my airbrush doing this. I really do not hope that happens. Yeah, this isn't working out very well. I switched colors. This is neutral gray 5. Yeah, I tried priming this. It's not working. Not working. The instructions here. The Hobby Japan magazine. This is November 2 years ago. It says to just add the thinner just little by little, but it says to use a brush. I was using just a stir stick, but this is not working. I can't get this to do this at all. You know, I'll revisit this in another video, I suppose, but it's just gunking up in here. I'm about to ready to give up. I can't get this to work right. Oh well.
That was very interesting music.
I was in Zia's in Phoenix, Arizona, and that was just really nostalgic because in high school, I mean, I went there so often. I have the Duran Duran's greatest hits here, and actually they had the Japanese import of this, and that's what caught my eye. I think I was looking for Depeche Mode, and then I saw Duran Duran, and I'm like, oh, hey, cool. And then it was like maybe $14 US, and I'm like, well, that is tempting. And then I saw that they have just the standard US release for $7.99. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll get that instead. Because, like, you know, why would I go to America to get a Japanese import? Although now I'm thinking maybe it would have been better if I got the Japanese one, because it'll probably have the lyrics in Japanese. And if I ever wanted to use a song for class, for an English class, that, you know, I would have instant lyrics, and so I don't have to try to translate the lyrics myself. And here we go. I have not yet listened to this, obviously, as I'm just now peeling off all the tape. So, is there something I should know? The Reflex, Ordinary World, that came out like in 1992, 93 or so. Save a Prayer, Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf, Girls on Film. Cool stuff. Boy, they are all about this tape, aren't they? Get out of here with your tape, man. I rebuke your tape in the name of... Hold on a second. There's a better way of doing this, right? There you go. There we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Oh well, look at this. Well now, maybe this is why it's taped is because this thing is broken, perhaps? Yeah, it's broken. Gosh darn it. Well, I think I have a new replacement case, at least, I guess. Oh my, isn't that cool? So yeah, they were like, you know, they're a handsome boy band from the 80s, but they played their own music, instruments, and the songs were cool. Not like, you know, New Kids on the Block or Backstreet Boys and crap like that. I just don't like that crap at all. Alright, so let's move on here. And I got this, and it turns out it's brand new. I got this off of Rakuten, and it was Rakuten Books was the seller. So this is New Order's Low Life album, and yeah, I was not expecting this to be brand new. So it's got the obi, the spine card, and everything. This is brand new. And I never throw away the spine card. Alright, so this is The Perfect Kiss, Love Vigilantes. Those are the two biggest ones. I think Subculture is I think that was in the Pretty in Pink soundtrack, if I remember right. Sunrise is awesome. And here it is. So there's Peter Hook. Right. Fantastic. So this is what's his name? The drummer on the cover here. Steve. Oh shoot, what's his name? That's Jillian Gilbert or Gillian Gilbert, whatever. See, look, it's all got stuff in Japanese. Very cool. So if I want to do Love Vigilantes, right? So I've just come from the land of the sun, right? So if I want to use that grammar point, I've just come, right? So that would be like the present perfect tense. You know, I have the Japanese lyrics as well. So there's Bernard Sumner there. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Alright, this is going to go in the car. I'm going to listen to this. Let me, I never throw these out. I always keep them safe. So a book off opened up in my town. And, you know, in Japan. And I was there for the grand opening, so I got a couple of CDs. This is Music for the Masses by Depeche Mode. And this one has Strange Love and Never Let Me Down Again on there. And I also got Never Mind the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols. So this is the Japanese release. I've never actually listened to this, really. I mean, I know some of the songs, right? Hierarchy in the UK, of course, but I've never actually listened to this album before. It's, you know, it's alright. I mean, I don't know. I guess I kind of like the Clash's first album better. But whatever. It's educational for punk rock. So yeah, I got these at Book Off in town. I had bought Raiders of the Lost Ark on Blu-ray at Book Off, and I've always kept my eye open for the other two movies. You know, the only decent Indiana Jones movies. I never ran across them, so I went ahead and picked these up on Rakuten for a really good price. Temple of Doom was cheap. I bought these used. I think this was Book Off Rakuten store, maybe. I can't remember. But Last Crusade, this one is a little bit more expensive. I think this is maybe like 600 yen, and this is like maybe 1,000 yen or something. I can't remember. Alright, so in time for Halloween, got Alien Romulus. And this is... I don't need this. That's just trash. This has the Blu-ray and the DVD. And heck, I really like this movie. I mean, yeah, the "get her away from her, you bitch," that line really just, I don't know how that got past test audiences. That is just, it just makes my eyes roll every time. But at the same time, though, I mean, the rest of the movie is really fun, and things are different, but then again, I mean, these are aliens that were developed in a laboratory, so maybe that would explain the reason why the gestation is like way too fast and stuff like that. But it just had just a very passing mention of Prometheus, and I've never bothered to watch that movie, and I never want to. And unlike Prometheus, this movie, they went out of the way to make the technology in harmony with the older movies, instead of making it like, you know, Prometheus, which happens like 100 years in the past, and yet it's like way more technologically advanced and such. Just stupid as hell. But anyhow, yeah, they mentioned Prometheus just a little bit in this movie, and it just goes in one ear and out the other very pleasantly. And you don't really have to know about that stupid movie in order to enjoy this one. So this is great, really great. And I got this classic, and I've got this on DVD already. I wanted to get this on Blu-ray. I'm going to be watching this probably on Halloween night. So it says right here, 16:9. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, it's a 4:3 aspect ratio movie. I mean, if you want to pull people's legs, try to, you know, ask them about a widescreen version of The Shining, and it doesn't exist. I don't know why it says 16:9. It shouldn't be 16:9, but whatever. I don't know. I'll have to just watch this. Hopefully they didn't crop into it, because that would be really crappy with, you know, to do that to Stanley Kubrick's vision, right? So he just wanted to do it in 4:3 aspect ratio, so I respect that. So, and like, there's another one, like, was it the Battlestar Galactica, the original TOS show? They released it on Blu-ray and they cropped into it to make it 16:9. I don't like that idea. I just don't like that. But anyhow, yeah, classic horror movie. Great stuff. I love this movie. Really good stuff. Alright, you are watching an actual brand new Mega Drive game. This came out in July, at the end of July, if I remember right. This is Eartheon. It is a shmup for the Mega Drive, available on Steam, and there is going to be a physical release for the Mega Drive / Genesis, and I don't know if that's out yet, or if it's going to be next year, I don't know. It's being handled by Limited Run Games, and they have a bad reputation for kind of screwing up releases. I don't really have much of an opinion on them myself, because I've never bought anything of theirs, but yeah, they tend to piss people off. So, yeah, this is a brand new shmup, and I was watching gameplay, like live streaming. They were playing this game at the Hei arcade, the Taito's Hei arcade in Akihabara, Tokyo, and it was really fun watching people playing this live streaming on TV. So yeah, this is really cool. The guy from GameSack actually did a voice sample for this game, even though, so I think that was pretty cool. So yeah, this is done by Yuzo Koshiro, who is, if you played Streets of Rage 2, or Bare Knuckle 2, as it's known in Japan, or as it's known between my daughter and I, kicking the homos out of Disneyland. That's what we like to call that game. Anyhow, yeah, he did the music for that game and a whole bunch of other games, and he is the creative brainchild for this game. So yeah, really cool game. Check it out on Steam. I didn't pay a whole lot for this, and really satisfying, very fun shmup. they were able to pull off a lot of technical abilities that are not native to the Mega Drive hardware, and they kind of did it by cheating a little bit, right? They don't have like scaling like the Super Famicom did, but they kind of cheated and made it happen for this game. So yeah, very, very fun game.
Attack the central unit! Wami! 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 Keep it up!
Alright, so what happens when your favorite MST3K episodes, Mystery Science Theater 3000, gets turned into a pseudo 8-bit Nintendo Famicom game? Well, this is Manos, The Hands of Fate, Director's Cut. I don't know where the Director's Cut comes in, but maybe it's a kind of a joke about like this is the director's cut of what you got in the movie because it's a lot longer or something. I don't know. But as you can see, it's got really great chiptune music. It's very, very Famicom, right? It's got the just like walking around and collecting coins and gems and stuff, and blowing the hell out of snakes with your pistol. Right, so this is basically like a Mario type game, right? You just shoot the crap out of these snakes, get them out of your way. And check this out, you got the shotgun. Alright, you're in trouble now, bastards. Look at that. Blow the hell out of the snakes, but if you get hit, then your shotgun's gone. Yeah, oh my gosh, I just died already. So you start out with 3 lives, but it's really easy to rack up lots of lives. So you got these Hands of Fate icons, but when you get them, then you'll increase your number of hearts. See, it's kind of hard to get past here without getting hit by them. This guy's like drinking beer and tossing the beer cans out of his car. So that's that couple from the movie, right? In the convertible car. So yeah, it's really silly. So now here's one of those Hands of Fate here. You shoot these things for points, and the flickering one, that's the actual Hand of Fate, and it gives you an extra heart. So yeah, this is, I mean, what, the movie was made on a dare, if I remember right. I have to read my MST3K guidebook, but I'm pretty sure this was made on a dare. Oh, here we go. You got the Torgo music and everything. The master is away. Telephones. The master will not approve of such devices. So, just shoot this guy. Just run away from him. Just keep shooting him. It doesn't really attack you, he just kind of walks towards you. Very well, the master will be very displeased. So you go inside the house. Alright. Pretty cool graphics. I mean, this is really cool looking. This is pretty cool. I think it's really cool. So now you're on to stage 2. And just, I love how they captured Torgo's movements, right? So now there's your wife and your daughter. Just the goofy lines from the movie, I'm just remembering, right? I guess pretty soon in this game, like, your dog gets killed or whatever. Shotgun. But yeah, this is just so great. Just blowing the hell out of rats with a shotgun and those scrubbing bubbles, whatever. I don't know. You can't destroy those things, you have to go around them. See it one up, there you go. So, anyhow, I have uploaded videos of Manos as well as Eartheon to my Odyssey channel. So, yeah, go on my Odyssey channel and check these videos out. It's pretty fun. I mean, the gameplay it's not like terrible or anything, but it's just very 80s-ish, right? So they did a good job pairing the 80s aesthetic with this game, with the movie, right?
Do something!
Fruit brewing. This is Melon Ale, brewed with Hokkaido Yubari melon. So basically like a musk melon. This is made in Japan. No added sugar. It's just got fruit juice. So let's give this a shot. Oh look, it's got like Hokkaido on the cap and everything. Doink. Oh wow. That smells like melon for sure. That's... Yeah, it doesn't have the fake sugar taste to it or anything, so... yeah, just got hops and, fruit juice, 5%. It's not bad.
How do you say it was warm in Japanese? 暖かかった. How do you say my shoulder was stiff in Japanese? 肩硬かった. How do you say it was expensive in Japanese? 高かった. And how do you say I bought it in Japanese? 買った. So, how do you say it was warm but my shoulder was stiff, so I bought a shoulder pad even though it was expensive in Japanese? 暖かかったけど肩硬かったから高かったけど肩叩き買ったんだった。
Yes, the purpose of this is to immerse yourself in the see what you see technology, for the computer to get to know you intimately, for the computer to be a copy of your brain. So the way this is intended to work, the vast majority of you have to be running on a Windows Copilot PC with Windows 11. And if you have this set up, then Windows Recall starts recording all your activity by screenshots every few seconds. Then the AI analyzes what's happening on screen and notates it and stores that information on the hard drive. In which case, Windows 11 will have a complete history of your life. Now, of course, philosophically speaking, putting your entire life on a computer changes the way you use a computer. Suddenly, you have to be super interested in cybersecurity because you need to protect your device in ways you didn't have to do before. Makes sense. This information used to be private in your brain. Now it is on your computer, and now you have to lock it up with all this security BS. Did you need this? If you're like me, where you partition what you do in your life, you don't need to put your entire life on display in social media. Just like I don't need my computer to know everything. But they're not making it a choice. It is a crazy decision, but it comes with all the baggage of requiring BitLocker, Secure Boot, and a TPM, and I'm sure they'll add more in the future. Because without all this, someone could hack your computer and read all your data. Of course, no one tells you that HQ could just ask the AI what it knows about you, and it is able to summarize that for someone without having to do any special decryption. This is the stupidity of all this. This is the purpose of all this BS. The answer, of course, is just to say, no, thank you. We're not given a choice. So make the choice and not use Windows 11 unless you believe in this AI companion BS. People often argue with me about issues related to cybersecurity versus privacy. This is a clear explanation of the difference. All the cybersecurity protections put in by Microsoft are here to take away all your privacy. If you're a follower of mine, you are at odds with this reasoning. So install Linux and tell Microsoft to go zuck themselves.
Tourists are poking holes in the screen erected to block photos from Mount Fuji. Get the fuck out of Japan. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? What are you doing going to a country that they clearly don't want you to do it? The guys, what is this here? Chinese tourist? Well, that's the thing, right? Is that what's really great about China becoming more modernized and, industrialized is that China is the other country with asshole fucking tourists. Is that back in the day, every tourist that was being an asshole in another country, it was always an American, right? But now China is doing their part. And now there's a bunch of Chinese tourists that go out all over the world, and now they're carving their name on the pyramids. Now they're trying to fucking poke holes and stuff like this. So I'm feeling pretty good about this.
China's assessment might be true after all when it comes to this religion. China says, Islam is like a mental illness that needs to be cured. I can't even begin to tell you how mad I am about the fate of these innocent children. My blood boils. I feel so angry, and I know you feel the same too. I know you share the same feeling. A religion that boldly proclaims how its founding prophet, Prophet Muhammad, married a 6-year-old baby and consummated his so-called marriage when she turned 9, is not a religion, but a demonic cult.
So, Japan has finally had a new election. And this is the big news, right? Here, at least. So, the Liberal Democratic Party, and just the sound of that, you're like, what, are these people who want to have, like, sex with underage appliances or something? No, actually, it's kind of a misleading title. They're actually fairly conservative, I guess. However, the previous guy, Ishiba, was a total globalist, right? And he wanted to even establish, like, building like a community of people from Africa. He wanted to have like some sort of African colony established in Japan. And people are like, no way, get out of here with that crap. Yeah, I completely agree with the Japanese on that. That is for sure. I mean, Africa, like where? I mean, come on. All right, so what? I mean, when you say Africa, I think of like Mozambique, where it is a commonly held belief that if you decapitate a bald person, then you will find gold inside of his skull. And considering how hideously bald I am, because God hates me and all that, I don't want to have those people around me. I mean, call me crazy, but I mean, these people are like, well shit. I mean, we keep decapitating these bald people. So far, we haven't found any gold inside their skull yet. I guess we need to just keep killing some more, right? Or the rape a virgin and get cured of your HIV infection or whatever. I mean, everywhere these people go, they cause problems. I mean, as, you know, in general, I guess, right? I mean, Uganda, you got some really cool people there. Obviously, Nigeria, there's this ethnic cleansing going on. The devout Muslims are murdering the Christians left and right. And, you know, I don't want those people around me. So, yeah, it's just bad news. And the weird thing is that this guy was supposedly a Christian, which is like, you know, like less than like 0.5% of the population in Japan, which is really kind of sad because like the actual Japanese Christians I've met, they are like the most sincere Christians you'll ever meet. Like way more than in America, that's for sure. I mean, you go to church and there's just like way too many phonies, and then that's when I lived in America. That's one of the things I really got sick of. But anyhow, so Ishiba, they got rid of him, right? I covered this in, I think, the July update. The Sanseito, right? That's it's total grassroots, right? The guy started with like a YouTube channel, right? And his party won like 15 seats or something like that. Crazy, just totally phenomenal. It was like really good news, and it was pushback on the whole globalist bullcrap. So within the LDP, the Liberal Democratic Party, or the Jiminto is what they're called in Japanese. Jiminto, Sanseito, Komeito. The Komeito, they're like really weird. They're controlled by the Soka Gakkai, and that's like that weird Buddhist offshoot. I don't know if you would call them a cult, but like Richard Gere and Orlando Bloom belong to Soka Gakkai, and it's kind of weird because like I worked at this Japanese-owned noodle cafe in Phoenix when I was unemployed, right? When my wife was pregnant, and these Soka Gakkai people would come in, and they were like, because they're genuinely nice people, right? And they were asking me about my background, and gee, you don't really seem like you're like really born to be a waiter. What's your story? And I told them I was unemployed and all that. Like, if you just give your life to Soka Gakkai, then you'll just become rich and everything. And I'm like, that reminds me of that, what's his name? I always call him Guy Smiley. Oh shoot, what the hell is his name? That televangelist guy. He's like, Jesus wants you to be rich. Jesus wants you to have lots of money. Which is like the exact opposite of what Jesus Christ actually even talked about. But oh shoot, what the hell's his name? He had that phony plastered smile and stuff. I think that guy's a real snake. I know my sister got sucked into that guy and his bull crap. But he's like, that name it and claim it, and become a millionaire and for Jesus and stuff. It's like, I don't think so. That's totally, I don't know what Bible you're reading, but that's much bullcrap. But anyhow, yeah, Soka Gakkai, they're like a minor, but they have a big following here in Japan, I guess. But the primary, the dominant party, although they lost, they really got their butts kicked this past summer, is the Jiminto, the LDP, right? So the Constitution of Japan is kind of modeled after the American Constitution, but the system of government is modeled after the UK's, right? Because you got that Charles, when he was Prince Charles, hanging out with Jimmy Savile, right? Johnny Rotten knew he was a pedophile, but somehow, you know, Buckingham Palace just couldn't figure it out, right? The Queen even knighted him and everything, and then later they found out that, you know, what a disgusting, depraved guy he was, and it was a lot more than just having sex with the kids, that's for sure, right? So, anyhow, so the UK Parliament is designed to keep those assholes in power as they just sponge off of the people, and they're just like a figurehead. Well, that's kind of similar to the Japanese, you know, the emperor and stuff, although I don't think the emperor is like a depraved idiot like the King of England is, as far as I know. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. Yeah, so they had an election, and Sanae Takaichi, right? We've had so many, you know, Abe, he was a prime minister for a good number of years, and despite his problems, you know, he was kind of cool. And then they had Suga, the guy that looked like Yoda from Star Wars, that old man. He was cute, but he didn't really do anything. And then they had Kishida, and he was a son of a bitch. And then the Ishiba after that, and he was just wanting to import like this African colony and like, you know, like 100,000 Bangladeshis and a bunch of, I don't know, like so many millions of Indians as well. Well, the Japanese people have said, look, we're sick of this. We're totally sick of this. We're even sick of all of the tourists. You know, there's been all scandals like that Johnny Somali and these breakdancing Americans on the trains and subways and such. And people are just like, screw this. I mean, you can't even go to Kyoto, and it's just like, without being inundated with foreigners all the time. And I'd like to go to Tokyo. I'm sorry, I would like to go to Kyoto again someday, but the way it is now, it's like I would feel kind of embarrassed. Like, I went to Nikko. It's been several years ago, and I was like, I noticed that like more than half of everybody were all like foreigners, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. I feel really strange. I feel embarrassed. That's just kind of weird. I need to get a better camera. This camera, it's, you know, Jairus gave this camera to me, and, you know, thank you for that. But it's like the focus and everything. I was just having so many problems with this, and it was giving me lots of problems and headaches during the, you know, my trip to the hobby show and everything. So it looks like it's properly focusing. So anyhow, yeah, the ruling party, the Jiminto, the LDP, they kind of changed their tune, and they elected Sanae Takaichi. And they throw around these words like far right or ultra conservative. Basically, what they mean is non-suicidal. They're just like, anybody who's not suicidal is considered far right or extreme or whatever, and it's a bunch of bullcrap. But yeah, so apparently she is tired of crap as well, and she's from Nara Prefecture, and that I've never been to Nara. That was like, I think the very original capital of Japan, and then it moved to Kyoto, and then now it's in Tokyo. Nara, I think maybe it was a capital, I don't remember. The city of Nara is like laid out similar to some city in China, if I remember right. Anyhow, it's famous for deer. It's got like these really old temples and stuff, and buildings and such, and it has a bunch of deer. And she saw videos of these terrible Chinese assholes like kicking the deer and stuff. Like this one dude, he did like this martial arts kick. He kicked a deer. It's like, you don't kick those deer, man. I mean, they're friendly. They come up and they beg for food. I mean, deer, they're cute. You don't kick them, right? And there's this I saw this YouTube channel is talking about this oh, cute Japan. Look at Japan. It's the channel says it's located in India. They got some Indian guy basically filming these pretty girls interacting with the deer, and if they're wearing like a skirt or whatever, and then they squat down, and it's like the word is panchira, which is like upskirt pictures. They really focus on this kind of stuff, right? Or like the girl is bowing down and you can see down her shirt or whatever. I haven't seen this myself because I don't seek out this type of content, but I saw a channel that was, a video was like, exposing this for what it is, and pretty crappy, right? These dumbass foreigners. I swear, I'm sick of foreigners here in Japan. I tend to stay away from them to begin with, and I have one co-worker whom I consider a friend, and I'll spend time with him, I guess, but for the most part I try to stay away from foreigners, right? I did spend some time with those two guys at the hobby show, and we went out to dinner afterwards and everything, and that was cool. But anyhow, yeah, Sanae Takaichi, she is now the PM of Japan, and I co-worker, a Japanese guy, he's pretty based. He told me that she's backed by, what's his name? Also, he's like one of those kingmaker types, and his family is connected with the Rothschilds and stuff. I really don't know about that, but unless I've mistaken, she's nixed the whole African colony, which is basically would become a no-go zone. I mean, you wouldn't want to go there anyways. It's going to be disgusting, and full of crime and everything. And yeah, that you don't want that in Japan. And I'm pretty sure she's put a stop to all of the Bangladeshi imports and stuff. Anybody whose name is Mohammed is not going to come to Japan and say, I love Japan, oh, I want to assimilate. No, he's going to be coming here to conquer and to have his hands out. And that's just always the case. Anywhere, the UK, France, Germany, especially Italy, they're full of these people, and it's just they behave so reprehensibly, and they sexually harass little girls and stuff. It's just disgusting. It's depraved. The culture is incompatible, and that's why I'm glad that they have her as PM. I'm sure she's going to disappoint us, I guess, but for now, I'm glad that she's in, and I really hope that the LDP has really learned its lesson to not back the globalists. All they really have to do is focus on programs and to stop making it so damn expensive to raise a child in Japan. It really is terribly expensive, and it should not be that way. I mean, even just to have your kid go to high school, like my daughter, is just incredibly expensive. So, I mean, you're paying like the U.S. equivalent of thousands of dollars a year and such. It's really disgusting. I mean, college should be that much money, right? Not high school. It's crazy. So I really hope that things turn around here in Japan.
Trump's a bitch.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here.
Any particular reason why you don't like him?
No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying.
In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes.
Senator Biden, yes or no, would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No. I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked.
Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous.
So many people who are part of left-wing politics in today's day have based their worldview around lies. We got Kyle Rittenhouse, who even 5 years later, the left keeps telling us he killed 3 unarmed black men and was part of a white supremacist militia. That's a lie. We've got the Juicy Smollett situation. The Trump supporters tried to lynch me hate crime hoax, a lie. We got the Trump very fine people hoax, another lie. Bubba Wallace noose. George Floyd being murdered because he was black, when the evidence clearly points that he suffered an overdose. We've got a more macro lie that there's an epidemic of police shooting unarmed black men, not happening. We got the Trump-Russia collusion, the Hunter Biden laptop being Russian disinformation, the Covington Catholic kids harassing a native elder wearing their MAGA hats, a lie. Jacob Blake was shot in the back while trying to break up a fight, another lie. He was reaching for a knife. We've got the trans genocide lie, Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, a lie, Border Patrol whipping migrants, a lie, kids in cages under the Trump administration, a lie. That was actually a policy inherited by the Obama administration. You've got a more recent lie that ICE is deporting American citizens. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Take the first punch. Let's go. Put up or shut up, Charlie Kirk.
You know
Put
what?
Up or shut
so,
up.
first of all, it says very clearly in the Bible that we shouldn't harm those that are worthy of protection, and you obviously are.
You're just worried I'll kick your ass.
Well on Medicare age. But let's play this out. Despite the obvious fact, and you and I both know who would win this duel. However,
well, then
hold on a second. This is a great embodiment of the American left. You can't debate, so you want to go to blows. You can't. The only thing that is preventing us from this country from going to civil war is debate and dialogue, and you don't even want to have debate. You want to go and you want to wrestle like a 7-year-old. Who here is actually dividing the country?
No.
So
a gentleman's fist fight. You know what that is, right?
Again, I would like to think that we are elevated above trying to go have a fight in the streets or a fight in front of 2,000 people. In fact, a mark of civilization is that we don't have to go to blows or bullets, that we can have discourse and debate, but yet you're inviting that.
And you know that out here in the West, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, really? You don't debate out in the West?
Real men stand up for what they believe.
You guys don't dialogue in the West?
Come on, man. Look, I know.
How about this? Why don't you, since you're a 70-year-old aged elder and you want to have a fist fight with a 31-year-old?
Is that how old you are?
Why don't you tell me what a woman is?
See, I am not here to debate you. I'm here to prove you wrong. Prove you wrong. Prove him wrong. So either put up or shut up. I'll walk away. You tell me right now.
I will say this. I will say this. I'm not going to fight you because I don't have to. Because you know why?
You don't have to.
You are acting as if someone who is very desperate, who is clout chasing. We are going to remain peaceful while the left promotes violence. We are going to be the peace because, as Christ our Lord said, blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Thank you, sir, and get out of here.
And people are like, this is fascism. Because people are getting fired for what they say. And it's like, motherfuckers were getting fired for not getting an injection 2 years ago. And if you said anything about it, they would literally shut down your entire social media. But that was okay. Like, not one person who got fired for comments over Charlie Kirk was their boss like, fuck, what are we gonna do now? Not one. They were just like, oh, thank God we could finally get rid of that crazy fucking bitch. Jesus.
So, Charlie Kirk was assassinated in September, and all the leftists are like, oh, double plus good. Charlie Kirk has been unalived. How nice, right? It's disgusting. It really is disgusting to see what has happened. So, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, these people, they go from celebrating the death of like hundreds or thousands of people in the wake of what was it, Hurricane Helene, right? In the southern United States. They're like, oh, those nasty Trump supporters, they deserve to die. I'm so happy. That's double plus good, right? There were King Teslas and firebombing dealerships of Teslas and such. You know, wishing the unemployment and death for people who were unvaccinated, like myself. People who could see through the crap and said, no, I'm not taking this shot. You know, they wanted, oh, you're gonna die, and I'm gonna live, and you know, time has proven that that's actually the exact opposite. But yeah, they wanted people to lose their jobs. They wanted to have their children taken away from them. They wanted them to ultimately die, right? They're cheering on the attempted murder of Trump from like what, July of 2024, and now it's Charlie Kirk. And yeah, so regardless of who killed Charlie Kirk, the takeaway is you look at the people who are celebrating this, and these people are disgusting. The liberalism is a completely, it is just a sick bloodlust. It's like a death cult, and it's like no wonder that they have such a warm affinity for Islam, even though Islam completely rejects, like, you know, so much of what liberals stand for. They're bosom buddies, and it's disgusting and depraved. But and even just as of this recording, you know, there was this so-called No Kings protest. Like, okay, good job. There's still no king in America. Mission accomplished. You know, thanks to your efforts of acting like complete morons. These are the people who glue their hands to streets, and you know, they go to like a bridge and they block traffic, and like if there's an ambulance with somebody who's dying in the back, and now, you know, they're going to be responsible for that person's death, or all of these people who need to go to work, now they are basically political prisoners, right? They're hostages because of these people. Or friggin' flinging like just nasty soup, just opening up a soup can and flinging it all over priceless works of art and stuff because you're scared to death of carbon dioxide molecules and stuff. These people are so freaking stupid. Now, you know, Joe Biden has, you know, dementia, he has cancer and all this sort of stuff. I'm not, like, you know, jerking off to the idea of Biden passing away. I don't even want to, you know, George Soros, the Nazi collaborator who helped the Nazis round up Jews and confiscated their wealth and stuff, and then he said, well, you know, if I didn't do it, somebody else would have done it, right? There's the same mentality as Joseph Mengele, right? The despotic scientist who did all these macabre experiments on people in the concentration camps, and he said, well, you know, they were going to die anyways, right? So George Soros, the guy who basically owns the American Democratic Party, the same guy who is funding this political unrest in Bangladesh, the same guy who is most likely behind all of the crap going on in Serbia. He's a completely evil man, but I do not want somebody to assassinate him. That's terrible. He needs to see justice for what he's done. I don't wish death on Bill Gates either, or Bill Clinton, or all these other pedos, right? On any of the people who were at Epstein's Island, I don't want them to be murdered or whatever. I want them to face justice, right? And if they are sentenced or whatever to death or whatever, then that would be the justice system doing its job, not some, vigilante justice or whatever. So, Charlie Kirk. To be honest, I never really paid a whole lot of attention to him. But it's crazy that they're they are accusing him of being a Nazi or being a fascist, and these are people, they don't even know the difference between Nazism and fascism. They don't even know, they can't even define what fascism is. They don't even know what the hell fascism is. Fascism is definitely a leftist philosophy, political philosophy, founded by socialists. Marxist Giovanni Gentile is, the philosophical founder of fascism, right? When you say, socialism or communism, the philosophical founder is Karl Marx. Capitalism, well, that's Adam Smith. Fascism, oh, I don't know, I can't define fascism. Well, it's Giovanni Gentile, all right? Fascism is not inherently racist. I mean, the whole "stronger together," which is basically was what Hillary Clinton's campaign slogan. That's basically the foundation of fascism, and it's kind of, I mean, there is truth to that, but it's also collectivism, and that's not what Charlie Kirk was about. So, like, okay, is Charlie Kirk a fascist, right? So, pardon me, because I took notes here. Did Charlie Kirk ever say anything about the nationalization of corporations? Did he ever advocate the seizure of land without compensation? What about universal health care? Was he ever a proponent of that? I don't think so. Was Charlie Kirk fond of the eradication of gun rights in the United States? He certainly was not. Did he favor collectivism over individualism? No. Did he propagate social Darwinism? No. What about a disdain for Christianity? No, he never did do that, right? Or the government appropriation of religious institutions. That was fascism. No, that's not what Charlie Kirk was all about. Government censorship? No. I mean, you can make books about, well, whatever disgusting stuff, but it doesn't need to be in the kids' libraries, right? That's the difference. I mean, if you want to sell that kind of stuff on Amazon or whatever, fine, I guess. I mean, but if it is child pornography, yeah, that is where you should draw the line on censorship, right? And some of these books that they've been these people have brought to the attention of school boards and such is about, like, an adult giving a BJ to, like, a young boy and stuff with, like, pictures and everything. And then, like, they would be kicked out of the school board meeting, but it was like, hey, you put this in the library, why? You need to be answering for this, not the guy who's bringing it up in the school board. What about the expansion of government? Was Charlie Kirk really into big government? I don't think so. Corporatism, which is a state-run capitalism? No. Did he favor that over, entrepreneurism? No, I don't think Charlie Kirk ever said anything about that. Did he ever speak out against free market capitalism in general? No, he was a big proponent of it. Right? So these people don't know anything about fascism or Nazism. Basically, there's a really good book, and I've been rereading it, actually. I took it on the airplane when I visited America. Dinesh D'Souza, he's a normie, but I like him. He has some pretty good points. he wrote a book called The Big Lie, and it came out in like, I want to say 2017, 2018. It's like an old book, but he basically spells out like he gives like a whole rundown of a history of Mussolini and how he he was a socialist organizer, right? He organized labor protests and such. He was put in jail for it and all that kind of stuff. So fascism, basically, it's a solution to Marxism. It's just basically not looking at it as like working class versus capitalists, but the socialists putting the state first versus the selfish people. You can have money, but you can be a selfless person or you can be a selfish person, right? That's the distinction that he made. And it was mostly about poor countries versus the more affluent countries, right? So Mussolini looked at Italy as more of a proletariat country in general, and we're all in this together and all that kind of stuff. There was more unity instead of the internal class struggle that Marx was all about, right? It's like you would call it an evolution of Marxism, I guess. So basically, no distinction between private interest versus public interest. That's what they promoted. The supreme authority of the state, the centralized power of government, the authoritarianism, dictatorship. This is what they always accuse Trump of being. But if he really was a dictator, then he'd be putting him in jail or whatever. It's not the case. The morality and religion must be subordinate to the state. Okay, this is fascism, right? They opposed the religious instruction in schools, right? The government appropriation of religious institutions. They viewed fascism as a maturation of socialism, right? So looking at everybody as a whole together, right? And that's like where the fascism, right? The bundle of sticks and all that talk. That's what fascism is about. There was the original fascists, they had Jews, right? There was nothing, and Mussolini was not a racist, right? So Hitler was a fan of Mussolini. He was a fan of fascism, but he never once claimed to be fascist. Hitler he hated capitalism, but what he did was, the way he looked at it, it was like he equated capitalism with money-grubbing Jews. And that was his enemy. And Mussolini didn't really go along with that a whole lot. And he kind of let a whole lot of Jews escape from a lot of these countries and such. So, yeah, he didn't really respect Hitler a whole lot. I guess Hitler kind of grew on him, and he did, towards the end, institute a lot of the anti-Jewish stuff that just to show solidarity with, according to Dinesh D'Souza, who's pulling sources from, experts, the historians on fascism. That's not what Mussolini was about, and his lover was actually a Jewish woman, right? So, yeah, I mean, they had Jews in like top positions within the fascist movement and such. These dumb people who cannot form a political idea unless it rhymes with hey hey ho ho, who block traffic and they hold these stupid prefabricated signs. Like, who printed this for them, right? Where are they getting these bricks that are delivered on the streets just conveniently nearby where they're going to be protesting and such? These are people who make concrete milkshakes, right? Who nearly killed Andy No, right? Just because He covers Antifa and such. Meanwhile, these people like Jimmy Kimmel, they say that Antifa doesn't exist. Romans 8:28, God causes all good things for those who follow Him, or what is it? I'm not saying it right. Okay, all things work together for good for those who love God. Okay, that's it. I had to look it up just now. So, yeah, good things can happen from even disgusting act of violence, right? And this has opened up so many people's eyes, right? Some of them are pretty prominent people, like Shoe on Head, and I've always enjoyed her videos because she's, considered herself a leftist, but now she's like completely black-pilled on the whole leftist ideology, seeing how disgusting that these people are who celebrate death and blood, and it's just disgusting. So yeah, like I said, it's just ridiculous that they would just blindly say that Charlie Kirk is a racist or he's a fascist and all this kind of stuff. When you actually listen to what he had to say, he said nothing of the sort. Now, again, I was never fond of Charlie Kirk, especially because, he's young, and he will say like, oh, America's the best country in the world, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but for myself, I would rather live in Japan than in America, right? So it's kind of case by case. This whole idea that America always has the solution and it always has the best answer and such. No, obviously I do not agree with that.
The thing that was the most striking, and it connects with the news today in America, the thing that is the most incredible is what happens when you walk outside of your hotel in South Korea. I got up quite early the next day. Your body clock gets all messed up in trips like this. So the fact I slept 7 hours and woke up at 5:30 local is like an accomplishment. Usually, if you're coming from America, you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and you're all messed up. So I woke up at 5:30 and I said, I'm going to go get a cup of tea and go explore the city. And I did, by myself. And it was amazing. As soon as you walk out of the hotel, there's no bums. There's no people asking you for money. They don't really put up with graffiti at all. This is the streets of Seoul, South Korea. And I walked 6 miles all throughout downtown Seoul, South Korea. And it's a pretty amazing thing. Whether it be walking through public transportation, whether it be walking through public parks, everything is clean, orderly. They take pride and responsibility over their public spaces. In fact, Blake and I, one evening, Blake said, Charlie, I have to show you the subway station. I said, the subway station? I said, Blake, is that safe? And Blake chuckled. He said, safe? The whole country is safe.
He had said some dumb things, right? And those were taken out of context and used against him and such. But the one thing that always kind of irked me about Charlie Kirk is that he was always like, Israel is our #1 ally, and Israel, we need to back Israel and stuff. And, yeah, so, if I'm to classify myself, I would call myself a dissident right, I guess. And, if it's really true that Israel is America's greatest ally, then explain the whole Jeffrey Epstein honeypot thing. You can't explain the USS Liberty. You can't, or diving even deeper, like the whole Kennedy assassination and where those roads were leading to, and what Kennedy was wanting to do with AIPAC and stuff like that. Israel is not America's greatest ally. It is not an asset. Israel is probably America's greatest liability, I guess. I do not support Israel, and at the same time, that does not mean that I support Hamas. And it's kind of it's just aggravating how people have like this black and white view on that situation. No, I don't support Hamas. I don't love Islam whatsoever. At the same time, though, I don't like the government of Israel. And it doesn't mean that I'm a bad Christian or something like that because of that, and because they always take these Bible verses out of context. Yeah, so they always say, "Oh, you have to bless Israel no matter what." Well, no, actually, right? It doesn't mean that Israel always had righteousness on its side. When King, was it Ahab? Was it Ahab? Was erecting the Ashtaroth poles across Jerusalem, and the worshipping of Baal and all that, which entails child sacrifice. Yeah, you cannot bless that. That is bad, right? Or what about King Herod, who put to death all of the baby boys born so that he can try to stop Jesus, right? After was it the three wise men came to talk to him or whatever. Yeah, that's the government of Israel. You're not obligated to bless that. You know, you're not supposed to bless King Herod, just like you're not supposed to, pledge your allegiance to Netanyahu, right? And I thought that was really interesting how with this whole peace deal, finally, that there's this apparently the releasing the hostages and everything in Israel. Then who was it on stage that was saying, thank you, Netanyahu, and all the Israelis were booing the man's name, right? And these are Israeli citizens, right? So why should I support Netanyahu when Israelis are against him, right? Does that mean that the Israeli people are somehow anti-Semitic too? It's just ridiculous. And then when right after that, the person at the podium thanked Trump, and then everybody applauded, right? Because the people of Israel want their leader to be more like Trump, and they really need to get rid of that bozo Netanyahu. It is just totally disgusting, especially after the whole October 7th thing. Yeah, that was disgusting. However, how is it that if you kick a soccer ball over that fence, over that wall, alarms go off like crazy, but yet these madmen were able to, either drive a truck through the fence or ride hang gliders over the fence and all that, and continue to just murder people for hours on end before the IDF did anything. And General Flynn has said that he has people who are whistleblowers inside the IDF who said that they had stand-down orders, right? So, hey, if you think Charlie Kirk is so great, and if you're angry with what I just said, listen to what Charlie Kirk had to say. What did he say?
These guys not know this was taking place.
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier. Right? The whole country is surveilled. But I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand-down order? Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews.
Okay, interesting. Isn't that interesting? And he was also having his eyes opened on the whole thing about the big Jewish fundraising people, and the social causes.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more, draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me. Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true the Anti-Defamation League was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country that have done that. In fact, we have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Kopperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful. The part of the so that's totally true. And by the way, Tucker Carlson reinforces this. So I'm going to kind of, it was quite a day on the internet. Tucker Carlson was interviewing Candace Owens. We have Candace Owens coming up next hour. And Tucker Carlson mentions that Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week, and people came after us.
We were on top of it.
We actually said it in a different way. We said, I'm glad that Jewish Americans are reconsidering their financing of cultural Marxism. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this, that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country. That Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do. Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
Well, isn't that interesting? Oh my gosh. So here we have Charlie Kirk kind of changing his tune about Israel, and then he gets killed. Now, I'm not saying that I know for sure that Mossad did it. All I know is that if I was Mossad, I would try to make it look like somebody else did it, not me, right? If you're going to put a bullet into Charlie Kirk, you're not going to engrave, this one's for BB, you know, with the Star of David on the bullet. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that, right? Just like when the stormtroopers slaughtered Jawas, they try to make it look like it was the Sand People who did it. So, of course, I cannot say definitely that it was Mossad. Maybe it was some Truni, you know, furry guy with a stinky dick. It could have been, I don't know. The first thing I thought, though, it was a patsy. You know, what was it? Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, he said like several times, yeah, we caught the shooter within 33 hours. Within 33 hours. 33 hours. And I'm like, is he kind of giving a signal that it was like Freemasons involved? Maybe it was them instead of Mossad. I don't know. All I know is that I am just completely disgusted with how people are celebrating death and murder, and it is just completely disgusting. These people have completely mentally jumped the shark, and you know, how can you reconcile with people like that? These people are just bloodthirsty and disgusting. So yeah, golly. Well, as of this recording, October is not yet over. If you have anything planned for Halloween, then have fun. I'm going to be driving up into the mountains and see if I can buy a pumpkin, because it's been many years since we bought a pumpkin, and I want to carve a jack-o'-lantern. We've got some, you know, cute kids living in my building. You may have heard them playing outside when I'm, you know, doing a video. Excuse me, I burped. Yeah, I'd like to do a jack-o'-lantern, and that might please them. So anyhow, gosh, if you've stayed until the very end of this video, thank you very much. Let me know in the comments. But I'm gonna end the video here. So until the next time, live long and prosper. May the force be with you. So long, and thanks for all the fish.